Hey, how we doing, everybody? Zach Klein here on the Inner Circle podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Coming up, we talk about the return of Matt Ryan. I mean, for numerous episodes, everybody's always talking about AD. Is Aaron Donald ever going to return? And this time, we flip the switch. Aaron asks Matt if he's going to come back. After all, Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, going to the Colts, coming out of retirement. He's a grandfather. We have a fun conversation about that, plus 80s Players of the Week. But we begin with the head coach of the University of Oregon, Dan Lanning. The one mistake he made a year ago in preparing for Ohio State in the playoffs that he will not have this year. One player he would love throughout his coaching travels to have with him at the University of Oregon. He's now playing in the NFL. We talk about the NFL. Would he ever go and leave Oregon, leave the Ducks to go to the National Football League? That and more with a dear friend, an unbelievable head coach, a tremendous father, and more. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Lanning.
What up, Coach?
You don't remember me.
Hey, you came a long way. I do.
Hey, it's been a while,
you got solid gold behind you now. You know, you winning a lot of games. I see you all the time on TV. Hey, you came a long way, man. I can see.
You were a beast, bro. So I was a GA, Zach, when this dude was there. I got some cool stories on AD.
Hit us with them. Your favorite one.
Yeah,
just
start, Coach. Start.
Let's see if Aaron remembers this. Right, you remember Marco Pecora?
Mm-hmm.
You know this story that I'm about to tell?
No, let me hear it.
All right. So I was in charge of the scout team. We had a scout team offense, and the team we were about to play, I don't remember who it was. We were about to play a team that's going to run zone read, a bunch of zone read, and this is when like meshing the quarterback kind of became popular, right? Where you would just, instead of trying to play the zone read and then somebody else play the QB, you just let your best player just run right through the quarterback's face, right? So Marco was our backup safety.
I do remember
this. But he was also
I do remember it.
He was our scout team quarterback, right? So the very first time we run it, we go like it's mesh read, and Aaron just smokes Marco, breaks our scout team quarterback's collarbone in practice. Very first time we do. You remember this?
Yeah, I do remember it.
Shit, who's going to be our scout team quarterback? He broke our. I just remember in practice we'd put him in an inside run, and then we'd have to go over and take Aaron out of inside run because he just screwed up the entire period because it was just like tearing people up. It was a lot of fun, man, watching the way this dude practiced. I tell stories about watching Aaron Donald practice all the time because these guys think they know what it means to be great, and that dude. But I felt bad for Marco.
Yeah, I remember that.
Marco's collarbone broke.
You practice the way you play. You practice the way you play.
Amen.
Yes.
I'll be honest, I've been that scout team quarterback before. Back in the day, long time ago. It's a terrifying feeling. I never had AD coming at me, but had some pretty good guys, and I wasn't a mesh read guy. So when I was running it, it was not pretty.
No doubt.
No doubt. Coach, how's the prep going?
Yeah, welcome to the fam, Inner Circle fam, Lanning. We appreciate your time, man. I know you got a lot of stories about Lanning. I know Matt wants to talk some ball. Todd's got some sneaker questions. We all want to talk some shit. So we appreciate your time. Much love, man. And yeah, how are you good?
Yeah, life's great, man. Life's great. Once you realize that this profession is chaos all the time, and you kind of say like, hey, my give a shit meter isn't very high. Like, I care about what's really important to me, and doing it the way you want to do it with people you love doing it with. Like, that's what I think we've got going here. That you got an unbelievable opportunity. You wake up every day and say, you know, how blessed you are to get to do what you do. The chaos becomes really easy to deal with, right? And you realize that big problems aren't really big problems. They're small problems, and it's all about how you attack them. So a lot of opportunities here for people in our organization. Obviously, we're prepping for a playoff game. Yeah, it's all in front of us, man. It's really exciting.
So you guys have like, what is it, 11 days? I think 11 days until y'all play. And so take me through, it's kind of like an extended, bye week, whatever that is, that prep period where you don't know who you're going to see. What are you guys doing? What does the prep look like right now? And then when do you get into your normal game week?
Hey, wait, you haven't opted out of this game, right? You haven't opted out? You're in?
We're in this bad boy.
Okay.
One, we get to play football, so how awesome is that? We're going to take advantage of that opportunity. But I think this first week really is about us, right? And I'd be curious, about Aaron's perspective, Matt's, your guys' perspective on this. I always remember reading, like, Tony Dungy's book of whenever, they got to Super Bowl prep time, how he would even though you had extended time, he would still say the prep's the same. Like, we're going to do a Monday practice here. We're going to do we're not going to go 2 weeks of practice or the same thing. I feel like if there was a mistake that we made last year, the monotony of having 25 days between our game, against Ohio State, I felt like I didn't put enough focus on just us. Like, let's go evaluate what can we do better. What are a couple wrinkles we can add here or there that really has nothing to do with the opponent. So this week's really more about us. And then as we're a week out, for our game against James Madison, we'll hop into really James Madison. And the coaches are certainly taking a look right now. There's some things that you have to go attack. But for the players, I just don't know if it's fair for them to say, hey, I need 2 weeks of extreme focus on one opponent, when the truth is there's a lot of things we can get better at that have nothing to do with who we're playing.
Yeah, for sure. I always felt like in the playoffs when you had, whether you're 1 seed and you had to bye at the beginning of it, or you're playing in a Super Bowl, you have that extra week. The Super Bowl, a little bit different, but I always felt like when you got too far ahead as a player, like too far in front of, then you start chasing ghosts, you start overthinking things, and you get out of the normal of what really matters.
Yep.
And the other piece of that for me is, like, early you feel like you find a nugget and you're like, hey, when the right guard's hands, on his hip as opposed to like elbow, shoulder, whatever, hey, that's a run pass indicator. You point it out to your guys early. Well, now by next Thursday, you're still saying, all right, now what's this mean? And they're like, yeah, coach, we got it. Like, you told us that 15 times. It's, to me, you can give so much information that it becomes stale, and it doesn't mean as much right when you walk into the game rather than when it's fresh on your mind and it feels like new information.
All right, so I've always been curious from my end, so I graduated from college in 2007, and it was right at the time Chip was out there, that place was taking off, and, at that time it was the new uniforms. It was like everybody had this thing when you were playing college football at that time, watching out there and being like, man, this place is cool, it's different, it's unique, and you've been there now going, 4 years, and so I'm always curious, like, what is the coolest, from your perspective, the coolest perk or the coolest thing about being at Oregon?
Well, I mean, certainly the relationship with Nike's awesome. That's just, I've got more shoes in my closet right now than I ever dreamed of. Like, I don't have
favorite pair.
Very jealous.
Probably Jordan 3s. They're like all black leather. I know they have a name. I can't remember what the name is.
AD likes them.
I got them all black Jordan 3s too, man. I just had them on yesterday. So
they got the duck wing, they're awesome. So that's probably my favorite. But we just did the Grateful Dead this year, so I got some cool Air Forces Grateful Dead kicks that I really like too. But I wear Cortezes the most. I'm a Cortez
old
guy.
School. I love
Cortezes, man. That's my favorite shoe to wear.
That's like the most cost-effective pair they make, man.
I'm rocking them right now, man.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
Right now. It's like my daily rider. That's what I go with. But beyond that, like, I knew that was going to be cool coming in. It's just the mindset here at Oregon that we're going to keep advancing. We're going to keep attacking. Like, let's not get comfortable. And I love that. I mean, I'm looking out my window right now. We're building a brand new building that's going to be state-of-the-art for our player development, for, an indoor standpoint, growth for these guys, what it's going to look like. And it's like, let's not just satisfy with being good. Let's figure out how we can be the best. And that's probably the thing that has been a separator for Oregon since I've been here, is it's, okay, we recognize that we've had some success, but there's more that we want to accomplish. Let's keep pushing the envelope. And that's what I really love about here.
Hey, Coach, for the past 2 years, I've been watching you I'm like, I know Coach. I know him from his face look familiar. I'm like, I know you from somewhere. And I'm doing my research. I'm saying, I knew his face. I knew him from somewhere. Like, he was with me at Pitt in 2011 with Todd Graham's staff, man. So, like, to see where you at now, man, like, to see all the things you're accomplishing, you're going to continue to accomplish, man, it's pretty cool to watch, man, because I feel like I was with you from the beginning. Your story, when you was here, now you up here, man. You sitting here with solid gold behind you. You got your solid gold. So, man, I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud to see what you're accomplishing. Having a lot of success in 4 years, right? So just keep going, man. I would have never thought, but, to see the full circle moment, man, it's crazy, bro.
It is. What's crazy is I never would have thought it either. I think one of the best things that happened to me, you remember Shep and I.
Yeah. That's my guy, Shep. That's my guy, yes.
We shared a locker at Pitt, right? And there's Bob Junko in the locker room every morning. You see him walking around doing his steps. But, like, we were in that locker, and I remember whenever, Coach Graham left and there was a transition, I'm trying to figure out how this is going to play out. And I remember, they don't pay for GAs to move. So I went from being a GA at Pitt to a GA at Arizona State, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get this U-Haul. And when I'm driving this U-Haul from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Phoenix, Arizona, the whole time I'm driving, I'm sitting here saying, like, did I make a mistake? Like, am I doing this the right way? And on that drive, I made a decision, like, hey, nobody knows me in Arizona. Like, I'm not going to be the same dude I was at Pitt. Like, all the mistakes I made, I wasn't good. Like, when I was at Pitt, I worked hard, but I didn't know anything. And ultimately, I told myself, like, this is your chance to reinvent yourself. And kind of every single step for me in my career along the way is like, okay, what's my greatest weakness? How can I make that a strength at the next spot? Because nobody knows who you are. So when I'd leave Arizona State and go to Sam Houston State, it's like, all right, what were my weaknesses at Arizona State? Let me reshape who I am. Let me and you got to be true to yourself. But, like, there's stuff we can all get better at. And I feel like one of the best things in my career was that transition. Every time that there was a job change or a coaching change where I was in that transition, it's like, I don't have to be the same dude I was at my first stop. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm somebody new. And I think back to 2011 and how much I didn't know, how much football I didn't know, how ready I wasn't. And now I feel like all those moments, all those transitions, gave me great opportunities. And the secret sauce at all of it is have great players. So being able to watch a guy like you work, made it special for me.
All right, so speaking of great players, if you could go back to one of those defenses you were a part of along the way, you said there's that journey from Pitt and you keep going, Arizona State, Sam Houston State, some time at Georgia, now at Oregon. You can't choose AD. You can't choose AD, but you could take one player from any of those stops along the way on the defensive side of the ball. Who you taking?
I'm about to piss off a lot of people, man. It's messed up. I'll tell you that I'll give you one that I got to see do some things last night that I was really proud of. Just because I got to be a part of his recruitment. I remember when we were recruiting him from Horn Lake, Mississippi. Kirby said, I'll kiss your ass if you get that guy to leave Mississippi and come all the way to Georgia. And that was Nakobe Dean. Nakobe, I remember recruiting Nakobe and him being like, Coach, sorry, I got to hang up. I got to work on this homework. Like just the professionalism of Nakobe from high school at Horn Lake all the way to when he got to Georgia, everybody recognized quickly, like, this guy's going to be different. And obviously he did some big things and is doing big things now in the league. But there's a lot of great ones I've had. My last year at Georgia, we had 5 guys drafted in the first round off that defense. It was just Jordan Davis, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean. I mean, there was a lot of guys that obviously had a ton of success. But Nakobe's one that sticks out because of the way he worked. And he's not the biggest guy. He's kind of like AD. Wasn't the biggest dude. He's not 6'2", but he just was in the right spot at the right time. He put in the extra prep. He worked really, really hard. So that was one that I thought was a separator for sure.
You mentioned took stops, reinvented yourself. But at the Georgia level, when you're winning natties and you're thrust in the national scene, Lanning, I mean, everybody knows you. Was there one part of you that kind of had to reinvent yourself when you went to Oregon now that you're the main guy? Or was it like, everybody knows who I am, like, this is me, let's bring it?
Even when I got out here, it's probably a little bit of a difference. And like, you go to Waffle House at Georgia, the D coordinator, somebody's going to come up to you and say something. Like, when I first got out here, it was like, that's kind of nice. I can go to the grocery store and people aren't bothering you. I mean, it was really refreshing at first. I don't feel like there's a part that I had to necessarily reinvent myself, but I knew there was a part that I wasn't necessarily prepared for, right? And when you first go somewhere, like, you're never ready for the job until you take the job and you start to figure out what the issues are. And I remember getting to work really early thinking, okay, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to be able to do everything I need to do and not get bothered. And then, 5:45, somebody's knocking on your, hey, coach, what color do you want this to be? And what do you want? And I started to really appreciate people who could solve problems that didn't make it to my desk. And I think when you empower people and when they do it wrong, you don't undress them. You just tell them, no, this is how I want it done in the future. I think we've created a lot of success here because I've got a lot of go people here. Like, I'm not going to have to say, well, I'm going to be saying, whoa, not go. And they start to solve problems, and then I communicate when it doesn't look the way I want. It doesn't mean, like I said, I got to tell them, hey, you screwed this up. It just means, no, this isn't how I want it. And we've got an organization now that, hey, coach, I made this schedule out. Does this look the way you want it? Hey, move this here, move this there. But now it's not, I'm starting the schedule from scratch. Like, they have an idea how I want it done. They know how we want to travel, what we want to eat. And the first year, you're solving a lot of those issues, how I want a defense called or an offense called. Like, just when you get everybody in sync and you got an organization that's working really hand in hand, that's the part that I had to figure out quick of, it's really important that I can communicate my vision, but then it's also really important when people take initiative and they start to solve problems that you don't just undress someone that doesn't go the way you want it, right?
Yeah.
You have to communicate, okay, this is how I need it done in the future. And people start to figure out exactly how you want it, which has been great.
So Dan, you talked about going to the Waffle Houses, DC at Georgia, and everybody know who you are. I got drafted to the Falcons in 2008 from Boston College, and I come down here and I went to a Boys and Girls Club like 2 weeks after I got drafted, and they introduced me, and like, the kids can ask questions. And so one of the kids is like, "Where did you go to college?" And I was like, "Boston College." And they were like, "Where's that?" And I like laughed a little bit, like, "Okay, yeah." And they were like, "Well, even though you went there, are you a Dogs fan?" And I was like, "No, I'm not a Dogs fan." What do you it's just the culture is so different. But I'm curious the difference of like recruiting in the Southeast, and you mentioned Kobe Dean from Mississippi, and then recruiting up in the Pacific Northwest, and you've got the West Coast. Just kind of the difference in your guys' approach from maybe an SEC school and how you recruit and what y'all are doing up there in the Northwest.
I think it starts with just where we're at location-wise. We realized early that we're going to have to be able to go everywhere in the nation to go sign players. And I feel like if I went and stood on Georgia's football field right now and got my baseball out, I could start throwing baseballs and hitting players that could play for you at the University of Georgia. You're going to have to travel to find guys here. I do think on the West Coast that there's a ton of talent, but it hasn't necessarily grown up in football with the after-school football. The work in the leagues that exist there where it's just – from the day you're born, that's what you're doing. So that piece is different. I think you can find not necessarily hidden gems, but products that aren't finished yet. Guys that are going to have an opportunity for a lot of growth and development. But you still, for us, that's part of what makes this locker room so great. And you talk about our culture and like how connected guys are. Everybody's from somewhere else. I might have 5 or 6 players from Oregon, right? But I've got guys from the East Coast, the West Coast, the South, the islands. That's part of what makes this place so cool is it's all guys that made the decision, hey, I want to go somewhere, take an opportunity to grow, and it's going to be a new environment. But guess what? When the Seattle Seahawks draft you someday, guess where your ass is going to live? Seattle. When New England Patriots draft you someday, it's not about being close or convenient. It's about, being a place that's going to prepare you to be the best. And that's something that's been, huge for us is, guys willing to travel, willing to see something new, change their environment, and become a really good version of themselves.
So, Coach, a lot of success in 4 years, man. A lot of wins, right? They're like a future NFL head coaching job if the right job will present itself. I know right now you still got a job to do. You got college football.
He's trying to win. He's trying to win a championship right now, man.
Saying,
we're trying to create controversy, AD.
we all set goals for ourselves in life, right? We want to be here, and be here one day. I don't know. Maybe 2 years from now, do you see yourself as an NFL head coach? That's something that you want to pursue down the road potentially one day?
I'm going to pull up my phone. You guys think I'm not paying attention to you. So I'll show you something here. And I've probably shared this before. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So this is my mirror when I'm at Arizona State, right? And it was all my goals. I still put my goals in my mirror, right? And number one, best father on staff, best husband on staff, man of integrity, Christian, 5 recruits. So I wasn't making any money. Right, I wanted to go prove that I could sign some players. Right, full-time February 2014. I wanted to become a full-time employee because I was a GA. I had 3 kids on EBT. Right, I was like, I need to get a full-time. And in fact, I got a job. I was on-campus recruiting coordinator. I said, damn it, full-time coach. I want to be a coach. Right, your goals. My next goal on there was head coach 35. Right, I wanted to be a head coach, and I thought that was really important to me. Well, I became the head coach at Oregon at 35. Right, the next goal on there is NFL coach. That ain't on my goal board no more. Like
took it off.
It's off my board, and it won't. It'll never be up there again. Like that used to be a dream, but dreams can change when you start to. And I would say that I was really selfish with my goals early in my career. Everything was really more about me than my wife and my boys. And that completely changed when my wife got sick when we were at Memphis. She got diagnosed with cancer, osteosarcoma. And now you're on your knees praying every night that, hey, I just need this mom around my boys.
Yeah.
And when we took this job at Oregon, some of my kids, 2 of my kids had lived in 8 states. One of them lived in 7, and you realize, dang, like, is that fair to them? So we took this job. I made a promise to my kids that this will be, you're going to graduate from the same high school. You're going to graduate from the same middle school. Like, those things are way more important to me than getting the opportunity to coach in the NFL. I used to have that dream. That's not a dream of mine anymore. Like, I truly believe this will be my last job, right? The secret to that is I got to win, right? Now, do I coach as long as Nick Saban did? I don't know about that. It's I don't want to say the job's harder now than it's ever been.
I'll say it. I think it is. I
shit
think
is
college
definitely-
football
Well,
coaching
saying
is
yes.
impossible now.
I'll say this: I did not have this many gray hairs when I got here, and it's changed. So like what you have to wake up every day with a newfound energy of like this is a new challenge to go attack. I still have a lot of juice for that, but I don't see myself transitioning somewhere else because I work so hard to make this. And our staff works so hard to make this really special. Now my goal, like my number one goal in my mirror in my house now is help my people reach their dreams and goals. So like seeing a Will Stein get the head coaching job at Kentucky or Tosh LaPoy get the head coaching job at Cal, his alma mater, like that for me is rewarding. I want to help these guys get drafted. I want to see them get a degree. Those are my goals now. And now all my selfish goals really involve Oregon. It's, Mike Belotti's won 116 games at Oregon. He's the winningest coach in Oregon history. I want to win 116.
Yeah.
I want to go 117. Sorry, Mike. Right? Like that's the goal now. I want to, be able to win a championship here. Everybody always says, well, Oregon hasn't done that. Like how awesome would it be to do that here in a place that's never done it? And just because somebody says that, oh, they can't do it, like bullcrap. Like let's go attack it. So, and that's growth. That's going to take a lot of work. It means your focus has to be here. So while that used to be a dream, it's not a dream for me anymore to go coach in the league.
You had the gray hair and you mentioned all that. And I'm with you on the gray hair from my clients, but two of them are on this podcast. But
there you go.
Talking about like the things that are changing and stuff, and your dream can change again because that wild, wild west of the NIL world is just a whole nother world. And just curious from you, like, what is it that you would want an agent and all these agents out there? Because now there's agents that are actually certified in the league, but then there's just everyone who wants to say they're an agent's an agent. Mm-hmm. What do you wish these agents understood as it relates from a coaching perspective when it comes to NIL with these players and all that?
Well, I mean, guys on this call have dealt with it. I think part of it first is to be successful individually, you got to have a successful team. And that means there's going to be sacrifices made at times, right? I'm sure Aaron and Matt, like there were moments in your career where you could have gone and made way more money somewhere else, but you wanted to be a part of a great team, and there's some sacrifice involved in that. And every agent's job is to do the best job they can for a player, but we also know that making the most money isn't what makes you successful, right? It's about being in a place that you're going to have success. And, I think just recognizing that if somebody's happy and they like where they're at and they feel like they're taken care of, don't paint the picture in their mind that they're not. Because I think the outside, like, just the opportunity to go look at somebody else's plate can create so much division and say, well, why is this guy doing that? Why is he getting that? One, half the time in our world, it's not the truth, right? It's something that's said that's not. It's just because it was on Twitter doesn't make it real. But agents recognizing like, hey, this guy's in a really good spot. They've done it. They have taken care of him. They've been fair. Like, let's not just go in here and poke the bear just to poke the bear, right? Let's recognize that this is a really good place for this kid. And sometimes you're going to lose kids because there's an opportunity for something somewhere else. But ultimately, for me, I think recognizing, like, again, there probably could be an opportunity for me to go make something more somewhere else. Like, that's not going to bring me happiness, right? What's going to bring me happiness is building something special. And I think if players, would really learn to deal with adversity, it's the one thing that we've kind of eliminated, with the portal and NIL is it's like, it doesn't feel good here. I'm going to go somewhere else. Like, that's not how life works, man.
No.
I hate that. That's what I hate about it. I hate that.
And if you never learn how to deal with adversity or grow where you're at, then you'll never become, what you become. Now, on the same note, the portal's been fantastic for some players to be able to say, like, maybe this guy isn't being used the best way. Maybe he does have an opportunity to grow. So there's been some really positives out of it as well. But I think the part we miss is adversity shapes a man. Like, adversity shaped me. And we're eliminating some adversity that these guys deal with. And it's not always sunshine and rainbows wherever you go. So when you have something good, recognize it and say, okay, all this means I got to dust myself off and do a little bit more work. Mm-hmm. And the opportunity is right here if I attack it.
I agree. I mean, I agree 100%. I mean, look, at my job is, like you said, to get the player the most money, but it's unbelievable when you look at these kids and the schools they go to. Every school leads with the money, money, money. I'm like, the kid's going to get the money. He's a good player. Like, talk about the situation and make him where it's going to be a bigger thing, because that money will come, especially if you're a good player and have a chance to go to the next level. I think situation is underemphasized in the world of NIL, and I get it because the agent wants to either make money or just look good to the player, but I think the situation matters. I couldn't agree more. I like that.
Hey, Dan, we're appreciative of your time, man. I know you're on a tight schedule. We'll let you bounce. Thanks for everything. We didn't make you take off your shirt. We'll do that on the next show with you on the show.
It didn't work, man. We didn't win that game. So.
And I know, yeah, so we got you there. And then just, hook me up with your contact because we're looking for the Inner Circle Jordan 1 Low Player Edition Nike shoes.
There we go. Actually, we'll take the Cortezes, man. We'll take the Cortezes.
There you go.
We'll just take an Oregon hoodie. We don't care.
There you go. Have a good one, man.
Much love, man. Congratulations.
Good luck, man.
And go get it. And we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you, Dan.
Appreciate you.
A legend, man. Good stuff there. And you mentioned the grind.
Crazy.
Your guy, AD, you breaking collarbones? You don't remember the story?
Listen, I do now. Marco, he was playing scout quarterback that week, but I think his position was, I think he was a defensive guy. We needed him for a scout team, quarterback, and we wanted to run this play that we was going to be practicing. And they said, you run through the fucking quarterback's face. So I practice the way I play.
That's not right, man.
And he's not really a quarterback though, Matt. He's a defensive guy that's playing quarterback for scouts.
Of course I know.
He could take a
zone
hit.
read's coming. We put the safety in there to run it.
He could take a hit. You know what I'm saying? My job is to make sure if he pull that fucking ball, I make him pay. And if he don't, still make him pay so they don't even do the play. Man, I remember that first play. I felt so bad. He on the ground rolling with the collarbone. I said, oh my gosh, what did I do?
I remember the head coach of the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings is Brian Flores. We were in school together at BC, and I was a scout team quarterback my freshman year. B-Flo was a fifth-year senior, and he was an overachiever. He was a good player, very good player, but an overachiever, right? So he was a hard try guy in practice. He used to fuck me up during practice, man. He would hit me nonstop in the pocket. It was like live Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm like, oh my gosh, man. Yeah. So every time I see Brian around the league, I'm like, dude, I've never forgotten. That was messed up, man. Messed up in practice. Why'd you have to do me like that?
That's awesome. I do think when he says like things change. I mean, I know a lot of people, just this whole world of the NIL and the portal and the chaos that's going along with this. It's a lot. And the calendar with it is all messed up in terms of when new coaches are hired in the bowl season and the playoff season and when the portal opens and coaches getting fired. It's just a hodgepodge of stuff. Like, I mean, I couldn't even imagine how busy he is, not only preparing for the playoffs, but at the same time, they're having to redo and pay all their guys, worrying about which guys are actually leaving. We all know that tampering goes on with all these other schools calling the players, whether it's through player to player or through friends or coaches or high school coaches or whatever. It's just a lot of moving parts. And then also you're looking to see where you're deficient on your roster because, as he said, you got to get into the portal and try to go get some guys to come fill those spots. So it's so many moving parts. It is a crazy world. And it's I know I live in it. I do know. I wanted to ask him that question about like, what does he wish agents know? Because there are agents that are NFL agents that are in the NIL space, but then anybody who is just a human being who likes sports, who has a connection to a kid is now suddenly an agent and starting their own agency.
That's what I hate about that.
And they're not necessarily guiding the players in the right way, which I don't like to see because, I can do this 100 times over, but each of these players only has one chance to do it and do it right. And so I think the importance of an agent is really, really important to make sure that they're guiding these kids the right way, giving them the right advice. And if you're just a guy out there and you have the wrong sort of mindset and the wrong goals, or you don't understand the bigger picture, you're really hurting the player and his family.
And they're taking advantage of them. And you're putting the kids in a bad situation. That's what it's like. I feel like there's a lot of good things that come from an NIL and all that. But again, like with the transfer portal and all that, like he said, there's some guys that need to get out of a situation that fit in a better situation. And there's guys that's just mad because a coach is yelling at them or some shit like that, can just join the portal and just jump. I just think it creates bad habits. And it's like that work, that grind, that like, fuck, I'm a lock back and I got to do more to accomplish what I want to accomplish instead of being like, I ain't where I want to be right now. I'm just go somewhere else right now. Like, I mean, I don't like that part about it.
Do you guys think that when you guys were incoming freshmen, if you were given $2 million before you ever took a snap or before you ever do you think it would have changed your work ethic at all? Possibly? Or I know AD, you're rare because you're just a million miles an hour no matter what, and $2 million wouldn't have been satisfying, but do you think it would have had any impact?
As a kid, I think it would have. I think it would have. I'm still a kid at that age. $2 million. I remember being a kid saying, I want to make it to the NFL just to make $1 million. I thought $1 million just changed your life forever. You don't know no better. I think it would have, but I don't know. But I wouldn't want that much money because I remember I got $5,000 Pell Grant. I thought I made it. I'm rich in college.
Right.
I wouldn't even want that much money, man. I think it would like affect some way, somehow, could have slowed me down, alter my mind. Because when I was in college, I'm like, I had a daughter going into my senior year in college. I'm like, I gotta make it. Now I gotta provide for somebody. I gotta just imagine if I had millions of dollars already. I'm like, I'm cool. I ain't gotta watch as much film. I ain't gotta do as much extra work in the weight room. We got a good enough money. I'm playing decent football to make.
Because you feel
like you made it
made
already.
It.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't want that. And just for me, how I am, I don't know. It's tough for them kids now. They're getting a lot of money, man.
Yeah, I agree with I think I changed so much from 18 years old to 22 when I left. I grew up a lot. And then I grew up a lot from 23 to 37, 38 when I was playing too, right? I look back at some of the dumb stuff I did when I was, a first, second, or third year player. And I'm like, man, that was stupid.
Just young.
And I feel like I had, what's that?
What was the dumbest?
Man, that's a good question. What was the dumb? Probably I had so many tailored suits, a ridiculous number of tailored suits that were so expensive. That I wore one time. And I was thinking back on it, I'm like, man, I didn't need to spend as much money as I did there. And listen, were they catastrophic mistakes? No. And did they change the course of my life? No. But at the same time, I just think 18 is very young to be coming into that much. And the other thing I think you realize too is that, not everybody has Todd France as their agent.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, not everybody has this really, good-hearted person. Of course, he's going to do his job and do the best, and he's the best in the business. But he also, every decision we've ever made, Todd, and everything that you've been a part of, there's always been a holistic approach to it, a 360-degree view of how any decision we make is going to impact our life. Yes. In 20 different ways. And so I think thinking about that, when you're 18, I probably would not have been ready for that. No.
For sure. Yeah, you bring up a great point. I think, 37, 38, 40-year-old Matt Ryan understands that, wasting money on suits was a waste of money. 22, 23 says, hey, man, I'm going to have another 10, 15 years and money will come. So Todd, when you're navigating that, when you listen to what Dan says about, his advice to these kids, when the kids want it now and they're going from 0 to 100 like that, right? It's happening like that. So what's the message? How do you not sell them, but how do you make them believe in the long, holistic approach that, Matt was talking about, that I know it looks really good right now, but be patient and trust the process. How hard is that? And what's the message you give these kids?
Yeah. I mean, look, first of all, the grass isn't always greener. That's the number one thing that everyone has to understand. It doesn't mean, it's just like when a kid's going to stay or go, hey, am I going to leave and go to the draft, or am I going to stay another year? Mm-hmm. Staying doesn't equal going higher. It could also mean going the same, or it could be going lower. You have to look at both sides of the coin. Everything isn't just look at the upside without looking and considering the downside. So I look at it as the grass, you got to look at it, the grass isn't always greener, but you got to evaluate the whole situation. What is the player's situation? Is the system changed? Does he not fit it? Does he fit it? Don't just chase the money, because if you do the right thing and you get in the right place and you're in the right situation, the money will come. So you got to have patience. It doesn't mean that you leave money on the table per se, but maybe, staying here for $100 instead of going there for $101 is a better decision. Yes, it's a smidget more or less, but in the big picture, you're going to make more. So you got to look at the whole picture, and you got to tell these guys, adversity is real. That's something you're going to have to deal with. It's not going to be, how do you know you go there and the coach isn't the same way? Or how do you know the situation isn't the same way? And the other thing is what year are we talking about? Is the guy going to transfer and it's his contract year, quote unquote, his year that he could enter the draft? And so if he stayed put, maybe he was in the draft that year, but now he goes somewhere else. It doesn't work out exactly like he was promised or sold. Now he's stuck there for 2 years. There's so many things that you got to factor in. Every situation is different.
AD, I'd be curious on this. I always felt like the money followed all that stuff, right? And it can seem maybe a little out of touch. Both AD and I played for a long time and signed big contracts during our NFL career, but that was always a byproduct of sound decision-making, of working hard, of
you do that,
people around me being really good, having good coaches, having the right situation, having good players around me. all of those things factor into
and that come with
all
it.
of the other. Yes.
The body work,
You know what,
hard
though?
work pays off. You do what you're supposed to do. You work your ass off. Don't even think about a dollar amount. Just work, just to be the best you can be. Chase whatever you got to chase, the greatness or whatever it is. All that shit's gonna come on the back end 10 times than what you even thought was gonna be possible anyway from just the body work you put in. So that's how I see it. That's how I always went about it, and it paid off for me like that. So I never chased a dollar amount. I never was like, oh, I want to make bang bang. I was just saying, I'm a go out here, I'm a dominate, I'm gonna do my job, I'm gonna do everything I can to help my team to win on the back end of that. All that's gonna come with it. All that's gonna come with it.
We're all spot on. And sadly, and I kind of said it to him, to Coach Lanning, these colleges all lead with money. That is the thing that they're talking about on every player visit. And everyone I'm talking to, these players, because I'm talking to more upper echelon players, don't worry about the money. We'll get that worked out. Find the right situation. Is this the right fit for you? Is it a geography thing for you? Is it a coaching? Is it a scheme? Is it the success at the position, putting guys into the league? Whatever is our sort of criteria that we set. Measure the criteria, the 10 different points that are important to you against apples to apples against all of them. Once we narrow it down, then we'll talk money. But they're all going to be roughly the same if you're that type of a player. But it is shocking how these schools lead with the money, lead with the money. And then
you know why they do that? You know why they do that, Todd? Because a lot of these kids is coming from, they ain't got much, and their families might be struggling, right? It's an opportunity to change their whole everything, right? So that's why a lot of these schools is doing that instead of telling these kids, you work your ass off, you do what you need to do. Anything you want, you can accomplish if you do it, right? And all that's going to come on the back end instead of saying, you come here, we'll give you an extra $1 million. You'll be able to do this for your family, do that for your family. And you don't know a kid's situation.
I'm still saying they can say that. Like if I was recruiting, I'd say, look, we are going to take care of you financially. That money's not going to be the issue. I don't want to spend my time talking about that. You're going to get paid by coming here, but I also want to explain why above and beyond that.
Yes,
it's also awesome. So then I can take that money you're going to be making here and make that even bigger the following year and even bigger the next year when you go to the league. I'm going to make sure they know you're getting money from coming here, but I'm not going to spend my whole time throwing numbers out and talking dollars and missing the other parts of it, because you could pay someone $1 million and be a 1-year deal and then they have no success and then no one wants you, or you could go somewhere else and get the money and then build on that money because the situation was right, the plan was right, the scheme was right, the situation was right, and it grows. But again, to your point, believe me, I know the colleges are talking. They're talking down to these kids. They're talking to their families because they think all they care about is money. Instead of realizing, well, actually, they're not so dumb, and they're smart people, and they're making good decisions, and they're not just going to get suckered.
Talk ball, man. Let me know what's the scheme going, how you going to use me? How's this position coach? Is he going to help me get to where I'm trying to get to? What's the, you know what I'm saying? Instead of the dollar amount, right?
I was going to say, like, what happened to also, like, we're going to have a chance to win.
For sure.
You know, like, you know, so like we've done all of these other things, and it's like, well, what about like going to win a national championship and like going to win a conference championship?
Yes, like, bro, that's crazy. 2025, we're in the future, man. We're in the future, bro.
That's right.
Different times.
Winning does matter because you're the ones who have to get up every single day and go to work. And getting up and knowing you have a chance to win or being competitive or whatever is a lot easier and better to stay locked in. And for 6-7 months, or I didn't mean that. Sorry, 6-7 months of work is a lot better when you're going into a building of winning.
It's year round. It's year round in college.
Culture, right? For sure.
It's year round, and I'm with you.
Just looking up some stuff. Did you guys follow it all? What Michigan State's booster donated $400 million to the school with some $200 million going to the athletic department. Texas Tech is ranked number 4 in the college football playoffs. They had a booster give 25. So you talk about the money and where $101 is, yes, it's not that much more than $100 at some school, but I think we're going to get to the point where we're going to have some big fish in these small ponds, thrusting their financial, arms around and say, listen, we're going to separate ourselves so much. And at the end of the day, it might not be $101. It might be $1,000 to one school where everybody else is offering $100. And then, Todd, that's the play, Matt, AD, where like, all right, I'm looking out for my family. I've gone from nothing. One school's offering me 100. The next school's offering 10X. That's a sound business decision.
Yeah.
The thing those places have done too is make an investment in the coaching staff. Like Oregon's done an amazing job of making the investment in quality coaching, right? So you can have all of that. And I think Texas Tech has done a great job with that. You look,
Yes.
I think it was a high school coach that was like a legendary high school coach down there. But listen, they're playing good football right now. The University of Georgia is doing it. Nobody's a better example of that than the University of Georgia here. And even my alma mater, Boston College, just making a full commitment to actually getting involved in this game, which I'm excited to see, right? We were playing basically with one arm tied behind our back last year because we couldn't compete with the revenue sharing of that, part that everybody else was doing in the ACC. So
that was until Matt Ryan stepped in and made a huge donation.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I feel like I've been good. I've been good to my school. That's for sure. Throughout the years, but we can't keep up. I mean, you can't keep up.
You can't keep up with that. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why they got to try to.
It's culture's everything.
And that's my point. It's got to be more than money. That's my thing. It's the money is a part of it. Absolutely, of course, it's part of it. I mean, it's 100% a main thing. But the culture, the winning, the scheme, the facility, the training staff, nutrition, all the extras and cutting edge, things that the schools have, all that matters.
The side effect that I think is cool, Zach, though, is that you have stories like Texas Tech. Or you have the or Oregon, which really started back, in the 2000s and what they did with that Nike money, but in investing in facilities and doing all of the things that they did out there. I think there is the opportunity now for different places, and the landscape may look a lot different than it has, the last 40 or 50 years, but you get good coaches, you get a good culture, you have good opportunities for this, plus you've got money on top of that. It's going to be interesting to see.
Let's, talk a little bit about the NFL last week. Daniel Jones, man, you got to feel for him, don't you, Matt? Guy leading his team. You've been high on the Colts all year long when he was able to do there, and then the turf monster got him, torn Achilles rather, and looks like he's got a long road ahead of him.
Yeah, it was awful. I think from the player's perspective, you never lose that, right? Like you never lose this just pit in your stomach that you feel for somebody when they go through something like that. And Todd, you can speak to it, as well as anybody too. And it's not just the injury. I mean, those are hard and you feel bad for guys, but Daniel was playing really, really well.
Yeah,
He's coming off of leaving New York, going to Minnesota, then getting picked up on a 1-year deal in Indy. He's got this team right in the middle of the AFC playoff picture. And, probably more so than anything, we could talk about the money or whatever, but there's going to be long-term stability there for him in Indianapolis. And then all of a sudden, boom, like that. And, it guts you when you see stuff like that. At least it did me. I was sitting there. I felt sick to my stomach.
Yeah, man. That was a tough injury.
As an agent, that's like the number one thing, the most frustrating thing about the business is injuries, because it's the only thing you feel like you can have no control over. Everything else you can try to help, and have some control and impact on the contract, have some control and impact on the situation that he goes to, have impact on so many different things. But on the injuries, you're just helpless. And it's a very frustrating thing. And you know how hard these guys work. And yeah, sure, he's got coming into a big contract situation, but it's more than that, because that's not what he's thinking about. He's thinking, I'm a competitor. I'm playing well. I want to help my team. I've worked my butt off to get to this point. I've gone through some bumps and bruises to get here. And now I got another bump and bruise to kind of overcome. So it's tough, and obviously that's why these athletes are as unbelievable as they are. They're not just athletes, they're professional athletes, but they've got that mindset to overcome it. And I've never talked to a player in the history of representing them that hasn't had a timeline when I've checked in on them on their rehab that hasn't said, end quote, I'm ahead of schedule. I mean, and I always say to them, just get back on schedule, right?
Yeah.
You don't want any setbacks. There's no game coming up in the summertime. Follow the doctor's orders. But that's the mindset of these players, which is amazing, and which makes players, these professional athletes, the amazing people that they are.
I mean, this dude was playing on a broken leg too. His other leg was broken, and he's out there
crazy.
Playing. Tough dude. Feel awful for him.
I do too. But I do know the Colts is looking for another quarterback right now, man. I know my guy, Matt. I know you've been staying in shape. You're looking good, by the way. I'm just saying, You're looking real good, man.
Did you see Matt in that Insure commercial? Because he was throwing the ball and doing some footwork drills.
Hey, it looked
Zach,
good.
I think you should cue that up, because that shows that he's still got the footwork. He's still
Matt,
got the.
Ty, you might need to have your phone ready for some calls, man. Coach need to give my guy a call.
Matty ice my knees. I know that.
Matty icing my knee. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Everybody always asking Aaron, you playing football again? Hey, Matt. Is there a chance that the coach give you a call potentially? Is this something that you could?
Listen,
Matt gave him a different number.
Do you
I'm pretty
entertain
sure.
it?
No. I'm pretty sure they listened to the pod last week and they heard us talking about our weights and weigh-ins and that I'm weighing maybe only like 205 now. And they're like, I don't think this is the right thing for us.
Their interest was piqued again because then they found out you were working out with me and they're like, oh, he must be having intense workout. So maybe they thought you would be in good shape.
It's Todd Francie's working out.
They care about the weight. They care about the arm, baby. That
arm's
still good,
man. The arm's good.
Let me see.
I got to be honest. I got to be honest with you though. I threw, and have I told this story before? I don't know if I've told this on here before, but I threw one time this summer with Matthew Stafford. We were on vacation. We were out in Montana, and he was like, hey, man, can you come throw with me? Just catch. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Throwing it back. By the end of it, I'm like, dude, I'm feeling pretty good. Can you spot up for me and catch a few? So I fire a few back. The next morning I woke up. My arm was so sore that I was like, that's it. That's the last time I ever go with full gas. I wasn't training. I wasn't doing anything. My arm felt like complete dog shit afterwards. But no, the Colts are not calling. They're not calling, but they're calling Phillip Rivers. What do we think about this?
I would call you before I would call Rivers. No shade. Rivers, great quarterback, but I'll be calling you a little before I'll call Rivers.
He's 44 and he recently became a grandfather.
That's crazy.
It's so good.
Like, again, no shade, but you're telling me there's not somebody in their 30s or in their 20s who's got some game and just sitting there, maybe in Montana, throwing the rock that can't come in? I don't know.
I have no interest. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm like AD.
I said somebody in their 20s.
Zero interest. I'm drinking. I'm drinking 42 grams of protein with Ensure after every workout. I'm not losing any of that muscle mass that you lose after the age of 40. I'm good. But I'm not playing.
Your interest? Okay, I just had to ask because I had to see.
No way.
So Todd, it's official. Half this podcast is still available for NFL tryouts. Is that what you're
saying? Matt's saying no. I'm over here going, we'll delete that, and I'm working the phones.
Cut that, Zach. Cut that.
Yeah, that's edit to be cut. Yes, exactly right.
Never give away some free information to the public. That's it. Good stuff, man. AD, you got some players of the week. You a lot of good defensive performances past Sunday.
Yes,
Monday.
Man. Some good ball, man. But I've been looking for this. I've been for the league this whole season, man. I've been like, where's the dominant interior presence, the D tackle that's really been taking over games, man. And I asked, and they did. And I look, you ask and you shall receive. I think last Eagles Monday night, Big Davis. Big 90 and that middle nose tackle. I think he's been playing some good football. He's dominant in the run game. He been cashing in a couple of sacks, man. He's been fun to watch. I know the Chiefs lost this last week, but Chris Jones looked like that's the Chris Jones I know, the guy living in the backfield, causing havoc, winning on one-on-one, them quick wins, right? But my guy this week, I got to stay in the interior, man. D tackle is Simmons with the Titans, man. He had him a day, man. He was all over the place, living in the backfield, sacks, batting passes down, like causing a lot of havoc, man. So I was asking for who was going to be the guy, interior-wise, who was going to dominate. Like, I'm talking about a dominant performance, like winning on one-on-ones, them quick wins, living in the backfield, causing havoc. And I got that this week with my D tackles playing this week, man. But my guy Simmons had a day, man. Let's clap it up for Big Dog Simmons. Big win. Got their second win of the season, too, man. So I think he put on a show, man, and it was fun to watch, man. Definitely was fun to watch. So,
are you hyping him up because Todd's not getting any Matt Ryan commissions, so he's gonna, hype up the Simmons train? Is that what this is about here?
Honestly, bro, I promise you, I've been looking for there's a lot of outside guys that've been rushing good. You get a couple flashes interior, but I'm like, I want to watch a full game when I see guys just dominate. Like, you get the one-on-ones, you getting them quick wins. It's like third and short. You need a quick win. A guy split that double team, get in the backfield, make a tackle for loss. That's what I was seeing this week, man. Chris Jones was doing it. Simmons was doing it. Even Big Davis was just stout, boom, holding them double teams, getting off them blocks, making a play. Like, I love that type of shit, man. So
he's been a multiple winner, Simmons has, of the AD Player of the Week. He's having a fantastic year.
This is feeling great, man. This is feeling like Todd's pushing you this information on Mondays.
It's not. It's not.
You can be bought. AD can be bought.
Do not disrespect Aaron.
He had the red sleeves. He had the red sleeves on his out there. He's playing some good
great,
ball,
man.
But he was dominant. To me, he was dominant last week when he played the Browns, right? I think, like I said, there was times where it was like a short yardage play. You can see him tilt his body. He knew and he'd get off. He split that double team, and he'd get that big tackle for loss. Even when he get double team, he'd get off, get them hands up, tip the ball. And he was just like, and then he'd get out the stack. That boy, he'd chase a play 10 yards, 15 yards down the field to make the tackle, man. So he was just playing good ball. He's been playing good ball this whole season, but I think this, from all the games that I watched him play in, from start to finish, that was probably one of my favorite games I watched him play this season. So, I think he was dominant.
Fastest way to wreck a game is an interior defensive lineman. Just dominating.
I agree.
Beating your center and guards in between there. I mean, you can shut the run game down. You end the pass game. If you can dominate in those spots, it's tough to go against.
See, when I played, I was like, if a quarterback was under center, I always thought in my head, like, I'm going to try to get him before he can even get 2 steps. You know what I'm saying? I want to get in the back. That's how fast I want to get in the backfield. Every single play, if he's in the gun, I'm going to get the ball. If he's under center and I'm right, I'm so close to him. I can smell this motherfucker. I want to tackle him before he can step back.
It smelled good.
It smelled like ass. That's what it smelled like. No. But you know what I'm saying? That's how my mind, every time I played, I just wanted to make every single play in the backfield. I felt like every play was going to be my play, right? And that's the way I went about it. If I felt a good feel and I can feel like I can split this or shoot up fields and get in the backfield before the guy can even see me, or like, you know how many times I was in the backfield before the quarterback handed the ball off? I feel like I'm actually running back there. I'm looking at the quarterback doing. I'm like, I can low key just take the ball from the fucking quarterback. So
but you didn't. You didn't. You never did. You never swiped one right from a handoff, did you?
I did.
Only when you broke that kid's collarbone in practice.
No, that's fucked up. No, I did in high school. Though.
Yeah, I love it.
A couple times, like 3 times in one game. It was pretty special.
God. Could you imagine having to play against Aaron in high school?
Oh. No, that's what earned him the scholarship to Toledo. Was that?
That's right.
That
Toledo
3
was
performance.
impressed.
Ain't nobody want me. They said I was too small, man. Everybody said I was too small. Even though I was getting fucking. I had one game I had in high school, bro. I had 2 interceptions in one game. I picked off. They tried to do 2 screens on us. One was picked. They tipped it and I picked it and I ran it down for like 30 yards and I got caught like on a 1-yard line. I was so mad. And then another one, I break down on the screen, jumps, had 2 picks in one game in high school with like a sack and like 4 TFLs. So that's how my stats was in high school. But again, they just said, I don't think you'd be able to do that in college. You ain't the biggest guy.
If you were $168, you would have taken it to the house and not got caught at the 1-yard line.
Hey, honest question.
I weighed that when I was 12, man.
I should know this, but did you play offense in high school as well or just defense?
Just defense. So they wanted me to play offensive line, bro.
You're damn right they did, man. If I was your coach, I would have been like, hey, man, we need you both ways.
This was the deal my senior year. I used to be mad. I don't like offensive line. I don't want, this shit's just boring to me. So they'd be like, bro, just let's get one series. I'm like, no, man. I gotta be rested for defense. It's like, so I would go 2 plays. I was just watching an old high school highlight, and I got out there for 2 plays, block a guy, throw him to the ground, and then I just subbed myself out. Like, I ain't playing the offensive line no more. I just didn't like the position, man. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I know, man. It sounds selfish, don't it? Sound a little selfish?
It does sound a little selfish, yes. As the quarterback of that team, I would have been pissed. Like, dude, we got the biggest freak I've ever seen on the other side of the ball. Let him protect for me.
Yeah, man. I'm not an offensive guy, man. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Couldn't do it.
I hear. That's all right. That's all right. It worked out for you. I think it's worked out.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. For Matt Ryan, Aaron Donald, and Todd France, I'm Zach Klein. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Inner Circle Podcast, folks. Be good, be safe. We'll see you next week.